This mutation is called Special Delivery and it is being played on Void Launch. We have 3 mutators active, we have Alien Incubation, we have Aggressive Deployment, and we have Self-Destruction. So let's have a look at the masteries while the players get set up. Tychus is a level 300 Ascension Commander. They have 30 points in the Shred Grenade cooldown, 30 points in the Tri-Outlaw Mastery, and 30 points in the Medevac cooldown Mastery. They are using the Technical Recruiter Prestige, pretty much one of the most versatile Tychus Prestiges out there. Nova has gone for 30 points into the Airstrike cost, 26 force split here into the primary ability Unit Attack Speed Master. I'm not sure why that has been selected. And then we have a 26 force split again in Nova Energy Unit HP. Usually you do a 25-5 split here just because it's easier to click. You can hold shift click, by the way, to allocate 5 mastery points per clicky. So it's something you need to know that is available to you. And they pick the Soldier of Fortune Prestige. Now, let's talk a little bit about the Mutators. Alien Incubation is one that spawns the alien broodlings when you kill enemy units. This obviously also takes impact when you have the Aggressive Deployment Mutator, and this one will spawn attack waves right on top of your army over the course of the mission. And the attack waves will get stronger and stronger. So you're not only going to have the attack waves that are spawning on top of your army, but they will also create these broodlings when you kill the units off. And obviously, self-destruction, all the enemy units will be exploding, so there you are going to be taking a lot of damage. Now, one thing to note about the aggressive deployment drops, and that is particularly if you are playing commanders with units which draw a lot of aggro, is you gotta be careful with how you deal with the aggressive deployment. So always being aware of the minimap pings is kind of important. But the other thing to also note is that if you do not have an army outside the mutator safety zones, then what will happen is that the aggressive deployment drops will start to drop on your mineral line and they will start to harass you. So it's always good to try and just get units out as quickly as possible and get these combat units out with the aggressive deployment drops outside and away from the mineral line. Because just imagine what would happen if you had an aggressive deployment drop on top of your mineral line. You have a self-destruction, so you have explosions going off all over the place, and you have these broodlings, which will also end up aggroing your SCVs. You will just lose your entire mineral line if one of these aggressive deployment drops in on top of it. So that is something to take into consideration. What do we have over here now? We have Tychus, we have Nova, everything is good. What is Nova's structure build order here? I actually do not know which one came out first. I would like to think maybe it was the starport? Could potentially even be the factory. I'm not really sure, but we will see how Nova decides to tech throughout the course of this mission. We have Nova now that is going to be rock swapping using a Banshees as well. Yeah, so it looks like Nova is going to be going for the starport tech kind of build here. This does kind of work a little bit, but unfortunately the self-destruction does hit air units as well. So it does mean that Nova will be responsible for clearing that as the first aggressive deployment drop. Let's see what happened over there. Unfortunately, I think Tychus is not counted in terms of aggressive deployment drops, so Tychus does not count as a valid target for aggressive deployment drops, which does mean that these attack waves will start to spawn on top of them. I do not know about the other outlaws. I think I have it listed on starcraft.com, but if not, let me know. Or at least it will be made very clear to me, because I'll probably check at the end of this cast, or I might forget. Old man tends to forget things, and I think old man might forget to actually check that. So do let me know in the comments what is going on there. I think Tychus does not count, but once you have another outlaw out beside him, then that is also fine. So these guys will be able to handle this without any problems. Tychus and Sirius, those turrets actually soaking up so much damage for these commanders, and that is the end of the next attack wave. And now Nova is going to be pushing out with those Ravens and Banshees. Now there are a few things that you can do to mess with the aggressive deployment drops. So I'm actually not sure if there's I'm not even sure now if it still works or no, but what you used to be able to do is take these Banshees and put them on unpathable terrain. And as long as you have no other units out on the map, the aggressive deployment drops will try and drop on top of these Banshees. But because the Banshees are on unpathable terrain, what will happen is that the aggressive deployment drop bugs out, and it will not spawn the drops at all. So that is something you can do if you intend on doing something like a hero solo, which is again one of the options that's available. Next aggressive deployment drop is out. The enemy attack composition is Breeding Party, which is actually pretty nice. Fear is also causing the Broodlings to panic a little bit. And the first set of shells is out here. So we have a few Broodlings over here as well that are going to be causing a problem. One thing too that will help is to make sure that you put down a few pieces of static defense on your ramps and your expansion, because it is just inevitable that whenever you start casting your large splash damage abilities, that you're going to have a Broodling that will manage to get away and it'll start to harass your mineral lines. It's always useful to not have to deal with that. So Tychus is going to be able to deal with these shells without any issues whatsoever, but there is an attack wave that is moving towards Nova's army. Nova is going to be using an airstrike here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to Tychus's point of view, and that will make it a little bit easier so that this mini-map doesn't actually disappear all the time. So that will be kind of a little bit more convenient for me and probably for you. And now we have Tychus, who has cleared out the Echo with Sears. Oh no, he's not almost. He's going to let that get away. Okay, no. He has managed to clear this out, which is really nice. And now Nova has a few Banshees and a couple of Ravens as well. Nova will probably want to get out the rest of her air army. The Liberators deal an okay amount of splash damage, but they're not too great. So ideally for Nova over here, you probably want to be using Goliath and maybe spawn camp with siege tanks. Maybe a factory build might have been a little bit better, because Goliaths are nice units and the siege tanks as well allow these commanders to spawn camp, which will make it really nice as well. We have double aggressive deployment drop over here, but Tychus should have absolutely no problems. There's a defensive drone that gets used as well. Tychus stoking up all that damage from the aggressive deployment drop. None of these units can actually hit Nova's army, which is also really convenient for Nova, but it does mean that Tychus is going to be taking the brunt of the damage here. And now we have a few Ravens and a bunch of Vikings over here, and I don't know, it looks like these commanders might actually let this thing die. This is going to be a bit of an issue. But yeah, I think this bonus objective is pretty much a goner right now. I don't think these commanders are paying attention to that. There's another attack wave over here, and this attack wave is going to be really, really nasty, because there we go. We have the Odin being dropped. Yeah, so this thing is pretty much foregone, which is somewhat unfortunate, but this attack wave needs to be dealt with, because there will be a lot of Broodlings spawning over here. We do have the Odin barrage that gets used. Unfortunately, no nuke yet for the Odin. Nuke is just on the way. Actually, he might get his nuke out just in time. So the nuke will be available over here. And is the Odin going to be pushing into this enemy base? I do not know if that is the case. So one thing you can do is, if you actually time your nuke with your barrage, you can use your barrage. And then, yeah, I think you might be doing that right now. Yeah, there we go. So what you can do is you can use your one barrage ability, and if you get your nuke researched while the Odin is up, you can actually use the nuke as well. So you can get two abilities off on one of your Odins if you get your timing right. And now we have an attack wave and double aggressive deployment drops on both sides. Tychus actually makes the smart move of moving out of the way and getting out of that little flank that he has gone. We have some of Nova's railgun turrets from those Ravens. Those Ravens are going to be doing a very good amount of work here, because these railgun turrets kill everything in a straight line, so we'll be getting a little bit of good value for that. Tychus now going to be trying to deal with his next attack, but very nice airstrike right up the ramp, pretty much one-shots and wipes out the entire attack wave. All that is left are a few hybrid destroyers, and those hybrids also end up going down. Nova is standing pretty strong here. Has anything been lost? We have 3 SCVs lost for Nova, 1 defensive drone, no biggie for any of these guys, and yeah, all is good. Nova is just banking up these minerals, which is really good now, and Nova is just going to be building up a few more of her air army right now. So what do we have for Nova? We have 4 Liberators, 4 Banshees. All is pretty good here for these commanders, and they're going to be waiting for the next wave. And you can just see how quickly these things can snowball. I still think the bonus objective could have been done, though. These commanders were already in position. Tychus had really had no reason to not push into the bonus area instead of this area here. But understandably, he did want to be able to intercept the attack wave before it actually ended up splitting up. And that actually ended up kind of working out for Tychus, because the aggressive deployment drops also dropped right on top of him. So that was kind of convenient for him. He's going to start clearing out this side, and you get to see these self-destruction explosions. It does cause a few problems, but Tychus now has maxed out his turrets. These turrets have also the detonator ability here, so you can see how these turrets are going to end up soaking up the Broodling damage really effectively. Tychus is able to clean this out really nicely. I know he's going to be handling this next set of shuttles, I think. But I think Tychus might end up clearing this out before these things come up. So yeah, these turrets are going to be dropped over here. Tychus slowly pushing through. Easy does it over here. Tychus is getting focused down by a few of these Banshees, and a very nice airstrike comes down, takes out the Banshees, and now we have an attack wave over here, and Tychus has to try and deal with that very much by himself. Uses a Shred Grenade. Everything is very much in the red right now. Tychus needs to soak up some more of the damage here. Defensive drone gets used as well. Tychus alive. There is no detection on this attack wave, so Tychus' medevac gets used, and he's able to heal up pretty well before he loses the healing buff. And now all that are left are a few hybrids over here. And just see how much detonations these hybrids are actually able to trigger. So you have to be really careful when dealing with hybrids in this on this mutation set, because self-destruction can get pretty nasty. There's one airstrike over here, but I think the airstrike was somewhat unnecessary. There was only one hybrid that was left in that attack wave, so Tychus is going to end up cleaning that out. But again, Nova flowing a good amount of resources right now. She might as well bank these resources as well. She will be needing them for the subsequent attack waves and the subsequent shuttle waves. They are going to get really nasty as time goes on. And now Tychus is seriously going to be moving in, drops a few more turrets over here. The turret again picks off down the air units, and we now have a nuke from Nova. And that nuke goes down. All the enemy units have died in that base, and this is what I was talking about. Always having a set of static defense here. And remember that if you do decide to put down static defense on your ramps, do make sure that you have someone to repair. And speaking of static defense, wouldn't it be convenient right now if there was some detection? There is the Hail Mary airstrike over there. Really nice airstrike, actually gets the ghost. That was really impressive. He actually managed to get the ghost right now, and it's time for a little bit of airstriking here. And this is one of the reasons why you might want to actually start clearing this base against Terran, because something like that can happen. This science vessel, press F for that science vessel. That science vessel is pretty much a goner. F to those scientists. And now Nova is going to be dropping a few more turrets, but it was going to drop it in the wrong position over here. Where are the Ravens? Where are the Ravens? Alright, there we go. Airstrike over here. Banshee's getting out a little bit of resistance as well. There are a few Marauders over here. This is what I was talking about. These Broodlings love to actually eat your SCVs. And now when Tychus is going to start killing them off, the SCVs are going to be taking some damage as well. But Nikara comes in to help them, and she has actually healed those SCVs and prevented them from dying. Oh, actually, a few SCVs are dying somewhere. But, oh, those Broodlings! Tychus didn't clear out all those Broodlings, so no one's losing her mineral line right now. And now we have another aggressive deployment drop, so Tychus is going to be somewhat engaged here. Nova's going to be losing an entire mineral line here. Lots of explosions going down, and has Nova lost any of her areas? No, she has not lost any of her areas, so that is actually really good. As long as she's not losing her areas, she's fine. She's sitting at 59 supply right now, but she will be able to get the next set of her units out if she wants to. And yeah, that is the end of Nova's mineral line. Lots of SCVs have died there. 16 SCVs gone down because of those Broodlings. That was why I was talking about having just a few turrets on the front line here, and Nova's flowing a few resources as well, so just having a few of those static defenses is going to be helping Nova as well. And unfortunately right now there is no Odin available for Tychus, so this is going to be a very difficult push for him. Generally, when you are not clearing this mission, when you're not pushing into Amon's base of spawn camp, what you ideally want to do is have the Odin ready for this wave, because this wave comes up, you have a massive attack wave that comes up, and you have triple escort waves. And just having the Odin for this big, strong push from Amon does help a little bit and makes your life a little bit simpler. But these turrets, again, are really insane. There are already 7 turrets right now, and all of these have the detonator upgrade, so Tychus is going to be jumping in here. Hybrid Dominator is going to be somewhat upset with Tychus. He's going to get pulled a little bit, but these Hybrid Dominators actually want to try and take out these turrets, so these things have a higher aggro priority because they are detectors. So these hybrids are actually really well handled from Tychus. Over here, Nova able to clean out the rest of this attack wave. And again, no losses. One Nova has died, but that is fine. Not really much of an issue. And all that is left now, we have another aggressive deployment dropping again. Tychus needs to try and drop a few more of these turrets down. Try and just keep these units at bay and make sure they do not end up harassing Nova's mineral line. Unfortunately, that attack wave has split up and is making its way towards Nova's base. It might just be a few Marauders or maybe a few Marines, and that might be somewhat problematic. But Tychus is already ready to intercept, and he is in position. Tychus, Nikara, and Sirius. A really nice choice here to deal with the high damage mutators. And I do not know if Tychus will end up getting the Rattlesnake healer, or will he be getting something else to just increase his damage out. But Nux might be really decent. Yeah, so he's got a Nux over here, which is also really nice. So Nux will provide him with a little bit of splash damage that he needs to also be able to hold. You can see Tychus not really flowing a lot of resources. He's doing okay. Nova, mineral float, not really too big of a deal as well. She's going to be using those minerals for the airstrikes. And over here, I think there might still be a few units here that Tychus has not cleared out. So that science vessel might also be dying. But Nux is now getting some more new toys added to his arsenal. So he'll be okay as well. Another airstrike over here. Nova just slowly starting to harass Amon a little bit. And we'll see these commanders do not look, I do not want to deal with this, but there's going to be a harass wave over here that these commanders have to deal with. Tuna Fish Hybrid does end up disabling a couple of series of stars, so that's going to be a little bit of time before they come back online. But once they come back online, they use their anti-air missiles to take out one of those shuttles, and now there's another aggressive deployment drop right on top of Tychus, and there's another aggressive deployment drop over here. But again, like I said, not really much of an issue. Secret missiles come down on the aggressive deployment drop and completely wreck everything over there. And here, Tychus having no issues as well dealing with the shuttle wave. And now all that Nova has to do is just clear out the rest of these units. This barrier on top of the Hybrid Dominator. He's going to cast an ability on top of Nova's army. Nova's army will be able to repair, but this Hybrid Dominator is somewhat problematic as well. And now, nuclear launch detected, because you're dealing with Terran and you have not cleared the enemy base. Means the nuclear launches are going to be coming. And I think over now, Tychus might actually end up getting nuked. Some of those SCVs do end up dying as well. Nova has actually jumped back in, and so has Tychus. They're both now out of position, and I think one of those shuttles might end up actually warping away, which is somewhat unfortunate. But yeah, I think one of these shuttles are going to end up warping away there. And did actually shuttle warp away? Let's have a look. Did one of those shuttles warp away? Actually, no shuttles warped away. We're going to hide that again. Random secret missiles over here, random ravens being really annoying, then another nuclear launch detected. And this nuclear launch is going to be really, really nasty. I think Tychus is going to get the short end of the stick over here. The nuke is coming down. Oh, he saved it! He saved it at the very last second. Oh, there's another nuke here as well. Amon trolling. He's dishing out the nukes right now. And there was an aggressive deployment drop over here. Is Tychus going to go back? Yes, he's going to go back and try and deal with this aggressive deployment drop. So many ghosts here, all ready to try and drop their nukes. The car gets completely obliterated by the attack wave here. And this is the final attack wave of the mission. And Nova is left by herself, and she has to try and deal with this by herself as well. And now there's a massive attack wave here. Nova... Okay, there's an Odin over here. This Odin's going to be really nice. Huge Odin here. Lots of kills here, and Nux is getting surrounded. He's gonna get wiped by the aggressive deployment drop. Oh, he gets pulled away. No storms yet being casted, but that is that attack we've done. Someone just got completely wrecked by the Hybrid Dominator there. It might have been Nux there. And now Nikara is on the way as well, back and in position. Over here, there is another bit of chaos going on inside the players' bases. Over here, Sirius has been sent to try and handle these shuttles by himself. I think he will be able to deal with that. Nova has cleared out this shuttle wave as well, which is pretty nice. And all that is left now is that one shuttle. That shuttle gets focus fired down. Not a moment too soon, because there's absolute carnage all over the map. But those are all the shuttles cleared. No shuttles escaped. And that is GG.